at that point where you feel like you want to give up, speak to somebody, speak to a mentor, refresh yourself, go back to where you started from, and ask yourself, what is the reason why I started this business, or why I went into this relationship? How do you feel when you start having thoughts of quitting your job, quitting the relationship, um, quitting your business? How do you feel? Or maybe what does it feel like after you have quitted? You happy? Do you regret it? Or have you gained more strength? There are several reasons why one would want to quit. You might be for good reasons, the right reasons, or the wrong reasons. And at some point, or maybe you are this person watching this now, you're just about to quit and you're not even sure whether you're making the right choice or you're making the wrong choice. It is difficult, and it can be difficult. It can be difficult when you're trying to make a decision, and there is no magic. I don't even have the answers on what to do when you're at that bridge, or you're trying to make the decision whether to quit or not. I will be sharing some of the thoughts that I have, and based on other people's experiences, on what you need to do when you're having the thoughts or when you feel like quitting. The first thing is, what is the reason why you want to quit? Is it that you are not patient, or you're not able to tolerate the situation? Or maybe you're looking at a bigger picture. There's several reasons. You need to always put yourself to check at that point, because it is a very, very critical time for you, because you're not sure whether you're making the step you're going to take is something you're going to regret for a long time. So I want you to, if you're watching this and you have had experience, because to be honest, I don't really, it's different individuals go through different scenarios or different situations where they have actually felt like throwing in the towel. They felt like giving up. How have you handled it? Please, I want you to just keep sharing your thoughts. How have you been able to manage the decision to quit, or even after you have thrown in the towel or you have given up? How were you able to manage it? Maybe in the relationship, in your businesses. I want you to leave your thoughts so that others can learn. The first thing I would say is you need to actually go back to the roots and ask yourself, why did you start that job in the first place? What was that drive that you had? What was giving you strength at the time when you started that job? Or maybe at the time when you said yes into the relationship? Or at the time where you had the idea of the business? What were the things that you were looking at? You need to go back to your whys and ask yourself, why did I start this business? What was the reason? What was my aim of starting this business? What was the reason for saying yes? Why did I agree to go into this relationship? You need to go back there first. Or I would possibly use the word, you need to go back to factory reset and sit down and start writing down. Are there benefits? Are you trying to, for example, with the Bola Adeyeye Omishade show, there are times where I've had a very busy week and I feel like, oh God, I'm not able to do this. But then I always ask myself, I'm trying to support myself and you, this community, to be the best version of ourselves. And that's the reason I never can tell who one of the episodes will help or if it's going to change somebody's life. So I always go back to my whys, because if you read my intro video, I shared some of the drive or some of the reasons. I always go back to that. I said, I don't want people to go through the same thing that I have been through. Hence, I want people to be the best version of themselves. So I always go back to my whys. Why? And then, is the outcome, is it something that is going to put a smile on my face? Is it worth the pain? When somebody is living a better life, it gives me joy. That's what I want to see. So you need to look at what is the outcome of being in that job. If you're frustrated, you're fed up of the job, you feel like giving up, you need to ask yourself, is it worth the pain? Or better still, is this going to go on forever? Is there a reason why I'm in this job? Have I learned what I needed to learn? That's very key. The things that I need to learn on this job, have I been able to learn them? Some jobs can be tiring. You might work with a team where you're not happy with. There's several. That's why I say it's different for different people. But you need to ask yourself, have you been able to fulfill those things? Do you think you're ready to progress to the next level? Do you feel that you're confident enough to sell your skills in the next job you're going to apply for? And then you also need to ask yourself, will I regret it? Will I regret this decision? Is it going to have impact on my life? Is it going to have impact on the lives of the people around me? Because if you're not happy, I've said it several times, it extends to the people around you. Would it have impact on my family, financially, physically, emotionally? You need to weigh them. I know sometimes we could be in situations where you just feel like, I'm gonna walk away. But are you going to be happy after you have made that decision? I want to go back to where I have started from. Now, quitting sometimes can be for the right reasons. It can be for a better cause. It can be to improve on yourself. There is a big picture, but that needs to be clear, because I have actually seen people that have bigger picture, and then, they've drawn the plan. They can see that this is a very good reason for me to quit this 6-7 figure job to set up my business. They have clear goals. There is a reason why they need to start up that business. Their whys are in place, and they're looking forward to a brighter future. So that could be the case. So quitting, that is always, that's the reason why it is always important to ask yourself, why? Why am I quitting this job? Why did I start this job? Am I moving on to the next level? Am I moving on to the next level? And then you maybe you actually very clear on your whys, but you still feel like giving up. You don't have the drive to just keep on going. It might not be the job. Maybe it has nothing to do with the job. It might be your relationship is having impact on your job, or it might be your business is the outcome of your business is having impact on your relationship. Still, you need to sit down and ask yourself, okay, where did I start from? What are the things that are influencing these thoughts, and you need to filter them, because in making decisions on quitting, you can get advice from people, of course, but it's still down to you to make that decision, because it is you are in the person in the picture. You're the person in the picture, and you are the only person that can make that choice. Hence, the reason why you have to sit down, weigh the pros and the cons. Weigh the pros and the cons. Or still, if it's a situation where you need somebody who you need to be accountable to, or when I mean accountability, it can be somebody that can put you to check, that can push you. You need to stay motivated, because sometimes you might just not be motivated to keep on going. That's why we have episodes like this, to motivate you. Maybe you want to watch lots of motivational, inspirational videos that can, or maybe you have somebody who is a mentor that you can speak to and say, this is how I feel. Have you felt this way? How have you managed it? So you need somebody, at some point you might need somebody who you need to be accountable for. Or maybe if for example, in regards to job, is if you lose your job, how are you going to feed your family? Is there another source of income? Have you saved enough money pending the time you get a new job? Are you able to pay your bills? Who is going to pay your bills? A lot of people, especially when you're going through a lot, you forget about your responsibility and you're thinking of the present moment. And you find out that you're not patient enough. You're not able to tolerate the situation. But you always need to remember that that situation will not last forever. It won't last forever. You need that perseverance. You need that perseverance and consistency. The drive it might take a long time. You might take it just gradually, but you need to persevere. It's okay to take a break. You can take a break and then refresh. Like I said, go back to factory reset and refresh, and then maybe do something different, and then start all over again. Start over again. It's not always easy when you're about giving up in regards to your relationship, businesses. You might feel, oh, this is not what I expect from this person. But what are you going to expect? What do you already know what you're going to meet in the next relationship? Now, you don't have to, I'm not saying go against your values, but you need to ask yourself, Is this something we can correct? Is this something we can talk about? Is this something that can be corrected, that we can work on, as opposed to quitting or giving up? Have you had a conversation with that person to say, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like this sort of, maybe this way you make these decisions. I don't like this sort of steps. And talk about it instead of giving up. Because you are not sure if the next relationship is going to be the same. Do you want to keep jumping from one relationship to the other? Do you want to keep jumping from one job to another? Do you want to keep jumping from one business to another? In that relationship, have you been able to learn the things that you needed to learn? Because of course, relationships, it's a learning curve. With businesses, you learn lots of things. You learn lots of hacks about the business. Have you been able to learn those things? So why are you giving up on that big picture that you had initially? Because quitting just says you've actually given up on the main reason why you started that business. You're giving up on the reason why you chose to be in that relationship. Does it mean that you're not getting the output, or you're not never going to get the output, or you are not just patient enough? Nothing good comes easy. You know, those challenges that you go through in the business, in your job, they are required for you to get to where you are going to. The challenges that you face is part of the whole success process. So you need to keep on keeping on. At that point where you feel like you want to give up, speak to somebody, speak to a mentor, refresh yourself, go back to where you started from, and ask yourself, what is the reason why I started this business, or why I went into this relationship? Is it, do you need to use that? Do you need that to keep you motivated? And that's why I was listening to somebody, and the person said, it's always better that regularly you need to go back to your whys. Go back to the reason, the main reason why you decided to get that job. Go back to the main reasons why you decided to start up that business, so that the drive is, you're edifying that drive. Edify the drive, because that's what's going to keep you going. You need to think of the very big picture, the light at the end of the tunnel, and let that help you to keep going. Some of you might have been in situation. How did you feel when you gave up, when you threw in the towel? Because regret is not, it's not very good. It keeps reminding you of things that you could have done better, or maybe years after you have given up, you regret. You regret that, why did I give up? So you do not want to find yourself in a situation where you're actually looking back and you're saying that I shouldn't have left that relationship. I shouldn't have quitted that job. I shouldn't have quitted that, I shouldn't have left that marriage. As much as you can, avoid the regrets. Look at the big picture, weigh the pros and the cons, and then get somebody who is accountable, who can be accountable to you. Please, I want you to share in the comment section how you've been able to, because we all manage it in different ways. I want you to share in the comments. Leave your thoughts on what people need to do when they feel like quitting. You know, we've all faced this at some point in our lives. How have you been able to get through heartbreaks? How did you manage it? Sometimes quitting might not even be your problem. It might be you were laid off. It might be maybe somebody said, I'm not interested in the relationship. How have you been able to get over? What did you do? Did you read books? Did you listen to other people that have gone through the same thing? Can you please share with us so that others are able to learn? So my advice to you today, for that person who is about giving up, who is about giving up on that dream job, on that giving up on that business that you started, that you have invested so much time and money. Although profits might not be coming, you might not be making as much money, but you need to weigh the pros and the cons. If you give up, are you going to regret it? If you give up, do you have something else you're going to fall back to? If you give up, is there something that in place that will pay your bills? If you give up, are there things that are there, would you not regret it, or will you regret it? Or do you think that there's no possibility of that big picture happening? Or is it that you are not patient enough? Ask yourself those questions. If you know that person, share this with them. If they need to hear this, you do not have to give up. You do not have to. You can keep going. You need just persevere. Keep persevering. Keep taking it one step at the other. Use every failure, every disappointment as an opportunity to learn something new. I hope you have found this very useful. Give it a thumbs up, leave your comments, and share this with anybody that needs to hear this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week. This is Bola Adeye Omishade. Bye.